Okay, this next step involves 3 parts. Dark green, big piece. You only have one piece this big that's dark green. Dark brown, unusual wedge shape. We do have a light brown that has holes in it, but we only want the dark brown. And then the inside cover, which is cut out with the holes and bamboo. I mean, it's the only piece that looks like this. It should be pretty obvious. So I'll set it up just like this. Bottom facing you, bamboo off to the side. Take this part. We're going to cover up these holes, so the wide side's going to be on the outside. That's just going to follow the bottom. It's just going to look just like that. This piece is going to go on the top corner. Line here, line over there. Doesn't cover up the bale of hay here and food. So, let's glue her up. This one's pretty important. You got all the open areas for the bamboo. So, yeah, you want to have solid glue here throughout the middle for all those different parts and edges all throughout the glue and stick down. Go a little bit quicker and get this glue going and staying wet. Lots of purple there. Okay, paper really warping and turning, but don't worry about it. Start on the edge, line it up. Get the angle right before you press down. Gentle. Ooh, there's blue on my fingers. Work that roller real nice and light over everything. Let everything bond and be secure. Add a little bit more pressure next time, and you're not sliding the roller, you're rolling it. That's the trick. Chapstick, lipstick, glue, anything that rolls. You don't want to push and mark the paper. Okay, so we have some glue coming through. You have all kinds of purple, crazy color bamboo. Don't worry about it, it'll dry clear. This one, the wide side to the outside, so it's going to cover all these holes. If you're doing it the wrong way, you're going to have a hole show up there. So make sure it's covered there. Flip it open like a book, glue the one side, and then we'll put it back. Here we go, all the sides looking good. Get up your glue, keep that dry. Okay, set that aside, clean up your board. Chances are you have a lot of glue that came through the bamboo and the side. And then we'll set up the next step, which will be gluing everything on this front part. So, the piece we just worked on here, you may recognize it. You want to flip it over. So the bamboo will be, I guess, to your right, and your 4 things will be towards you. Your 4 cutouts of the dirt. You'll need these pieces. You can take a second to pull them out. They go together like puzzle pieces, so you can tell if it's the right pieces. And they'll stack in pretty darn nice. Water, dark water, real smooth around the water. Real easy to see the light green, dark green. You know, just match the puzzle pieces up. Light colored dirt and the light green will have not as smooth, but a little bit jagged, but not like grass, so these are easy to line up too. So we can start with the water. This one's important. There's some little notches, some slices cut out there, so there's some missing material. That's a little bit different than the rest. These are perfect triangles, and you'll see some notches lined up here, 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 and here. Those are where the tabs are going to go for putting this piece in that we did earlier. So these tabs right here are actually going to fit in here to anchor them down, and this one will go on this side, and then our buffalo will use up those two. So the point of all this is we need to line them up so you can see through both. That's really critical, so that tab can go through, it doesn't get caught up. Those are the most important critical things that need to line up on the whole card. It's the tabs. So even if the edge, everything should line up perfect, but we don't want to line this up and have this off just a little bit and have the tab messed up. So let's take this, flip it like a book, get some glue on there, glue around the tabs to make sure they're nice, strong, and secure. Press light when you're going over the lilies here. The lily pads and lotus leaves. It's going to act like a cheese grater. A lot of glue is going to be pulled right off and through. It's starting to dry already, so go back and hit it again real quick, that edge work. Alright, we're ready to rock and roll. So line up the corners. Protect that tab before you really drop it down. One tab's lined up perfect, the other one should line up perfect too. Laser precision. I want the paper to shift, so first time around, just go nice and light again. I'm sure you're an expert and a pro by now. And we kind of got the glue on this part, which wasn't really needed at the moment. So make sure you don't glue that to the surface. Alright, let's do the dark water to see that lines up. Should line up to the edge of the card perfect with no space in between. Let's take that, open it up like a book. Not much pressure, real thin piece, doesn't take much to get the glue on. Pull out from the middle, otherwise the paper might get caught and fold over, which might be the best thing. Tweezers would be good to hold this, because when you get glue on your fingers, it just starts to build up. Makes life a little bit more difficult. So this should not sit on top of the paper, it should butt up against it this way, so don't put it on top. Should be almost a flawless seam. You shouldn't be able to feel any gap in there because they should be parallel to one another. Now we're looking for the next smooth part. Lime green. Match up on the edge. Looks like it fits perfect. So let's flip that and put some glue on there. This time I'm going to hold it with a tweezer, so I don't want any more glue on my hands. Nice and light. You got a lot of grass blades in there. You don't want to twist and bend and mess up your puzzle a little bit. Gently push it in. Just like the first piece, don't put it on top, but put it next to it. Push real light with your roller. You don't want any of that grass bending because the next puzzle piece won't line up. Alright, we do a pre-test to make sure we got the right way. There you go, nice flat piece. That's probably a clue. Look, it's going to fit in there beautiful. See, bent it a little bit, nice and slow. Oh no. Take your time. You can always go down the second time with glue. We got it, we have it. And as you go next to it, you may have a couple small gaps in there. Nothing you'll ever see or notice. If you have to have one or two pieces on top, pieces of grass, it's okay. You just didn't want to put these on top because then it would twist every layer going afterwards. This is the last one going here, so. Alright, down. We'll get this line up just perfect on the edge here because that will be the foundation for each piece to line up properly. This time we only have 3 pieces left to do. Yeah. Dry. There we go. Oops. Good tip to have this line up. You should have all the lime green cover, but you should have the dark dirt showing through. Well, fun fact, we put the dark dirt on the back side of the card because we didn't want to have 2 layers of different colors on this side. We want it nice and smooth so everything lined up so it wasn't confusing about multiple layers and not having it line up properly. So, next one's the light green. Smooth side next to the dirt, you'll see it lines up good. You use your tweezers to hold down the piece and gently put down your glue, pulling away from your hold point. Don't press it down until you get that nice border in there properly. Okay, the dark green. Let's see which way this will go. Looks just like so, lines up on the edge. Again, roll the roller, don't push it because you'll catch those blades of grass and kink the card. And there we go. I'm going to get the parts ready to do this second part over here. I'll see you in a second. Okay, wipe down the table with the glue. Keep nice and clean as you go, your tools, and everything will be much easier. So we just completed this side of the inside cover. Now we're going to do this side. So you see I have the pieces laid out. And I kind of pre-laid them out on the card and then pushed them off to the side so I can see. And again, you know, light brown will come here, light green, dark green. Same thing over here. With a critical piece being one with tabs. So let's start with that one. Work our way down. Little play in that hole, but perfect here and here, which will get all of our other pieces to lay down perfect too. Alright. Get some water in there, dark water. Lots of great color in this card coming through. It's starting to look wonderful. Look at that. Light green grass. Really thin piece of paper with a lot of delicate blades of grass. So don't press hard. You can press a lot of times. Just don't press once hard. And you can always go back and reactivate the glue if it dries. There we go. Smooth side to the dark blue water. These borders lined up well. One more green snake here. You have to go slow to get those puzzle pieces to interlock, but they look wonderful when it's all lined up. Don't press down hard, get that maneuvered in right first. Once you kind of lock a couple pieces, the rest kind of just fall into place real nice. Paper's wet, there's a little bit of flex on it, which is nice, you can pull it in tight. Alright. Let's move to this side. Couple more pieces left. So your hay bell with your little boy playing an instrument there, the flute, have all these little slices to them, and we'll need the slices to line up with these. You just line up the edge of the card you'll be able to see right through. You don't want to see anything. Whatever your table color is, you want that to show up throughout each slice. We're going to put a different color in the back, and that's how the color is going to come through. So, boy, we glued right in the bamboo. It's important that we keep it tight to the corner. All that moisture on the card starting to warp it. Don't worry about it. It will lay back flat. Follow your flute. Go out. Don't go next to it. Follow those small pieces from the middle outward. To reactivate the stuff down here, I think, quick. A little bit more purple. There we go. A little bit of glue on my table. I think clean to make that go through. The table, I think I might just leave that there because it's going to dry clear. Risk is always of cleaning up as you make it a little bit worse, but I guess that one was okay to clean up real quick. And careful with the buoy, there's so many uneven parts from so many layers, you don't want to press too hard. Those small pieces can bend easy. Just go with a lot of light pressure a lot of times. Okay, rock and roll. That boy ain't going nowhere. Close your eyes, you can hear him playing some nice flute music. So we got these 3 pieces left to do. Being this one's so small, I think I'm going to use the trick and just drag this across the top of the glue. A little bit on the point. Okay, that's looking good. Yeah, a little bit more on the tip. There we go. Let's keep this facing to you guys, so it's real easy. Smooth side to smooth side. You guys should be pros by now. Piece will follow your hay bale. Everything should be lined up pretty darn close. Looks like a small gap in there, but that's no big deal. Uh-oh, did I flip my piece? I think it fell over. Here we go. Make sure I'm gluing the right side. If you're unsure what happened, just double check it like I did. You don't want to glue the wrong side. Okay, and now we're going to set this piece on the side, and we'll get ready for the next step. It's looking pretty amazing, isn't it? So we got your cover here. Part that we glued. Buffalo, the flower. This piece with the hole down there. solid color here. Solid color is going to line up to show the Dragonfly and Cards Forever Gifts. www.dragonflyandcards.com, all our information. So that's how you know it's faced the right way. If not, that hole wouldn't be there, but you want the lime green. And this one, you'll see things line up. It doesn't have to line up perfect. It's just how we set it up. So now you're going to take it and you can flip it. Flip it any way you want, just as long as the pieces are all the same. Again, you can see, flip it this way, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to flip it right to me like this. So these pieces fit perfect. The edge lines up all the way around. So you don't have to worry about keeping the end for a nice brown border. This one actually goes flush with the edges. So let's take this, open it up like a book, put some glue in there, and we'll put it back and roll it in place. Let's go quick with the glue because lots of area to cover. Doesn't have to be really thick, you just want even. And you're going to have to go around twice or 3 times to activate it and keep on winding out the glue a little bit more. Paper will start to bend and warp a little bit with all the moisture you're putting into it, but it'll lay down flat. Okay, there we go. It's looking pretty purple. It looks pretty solid. Let's flip that book over, line up the edge. Don't press down hard, it's really sticky until you get all that edge work lined up perfect. Gentle with your roller. So everything has nice solid contact. Hit your edges with the roller. Make sure you hit 100% because this is stealing around the words on the front, the dragonflyandcards.com. Making sure that nothing pops up on the other side. All this is being held down because we got glue pretty solid and pressed down. So now let's do the other side here. I don't want glue to go on the rest. I have a lot of glue going on. So this one, we line up the corners perfect. Everything will line up here. Dragonfly, yellow. Again, we'll have to glue it pretty solid across everything. There's a lot of spots that want to stand up. So we gotta get glue over every small area so everything's pressed down. We're gonna have to move quick on this. And again, want to be there we go, open the book, maybe throw it to the side for half a second. It's like coloring all over again. And don't worry, it's gonna dry. You're gonna have to go back a second time. Important to get the glue. All these raised parts and on the edges. Turn your glue stick to the side. You can just nice and light. Kind of getting the glue a little bit heavy in here, but this bad boy is pretty sticky. Here we go, hit the buffalo. Pink side here, flip. And get this pressed down quick before it dries. Don't press too hard, nice and light at the start, even across everything, especially the edge, get the edges down. Right where all the cut marks are is where different layers, so you want to press down a little bit harder on that. Make sure it can kind of bend through all that layers and get contact. Okay. So don't worry, we put a lot of glue in there. That's all going to dry clear. And you're going to have these great, beautiful colors that pop up. Most important thing is Dragonfly is only in that area. Lotus is only in the lotus. Bamboo is only in the bamboo. So everything's lined up perfect. You don't have different colors bleeding over the other ones.